Hey everyone, this is TJ McCurdy with Sweat Angels. I'm going to be running you through a quick walkthrough as to why we started the Sweat Angels program, as well as how it helps thousands of businesses all over the country drive personal friend-to-friend referrals, and at the same time do some really incredible work with some nonprofits. So to start this whole thing off, obviously we try and help gym owners generate these friend-to-friend referrals by giving back. We really had two passions here. First of all was helping grow our business, and secondly was we were very passionate about giving back to some really deserving nonprofits. So we wanted to find a way to mirror those two and, really marry them together, and that's kind of where this whole idea of Sweat Angels and how it was born. So we do this by really helping support a great cause for every single Facebook check-in at your gym. And in a couple minutes here, I'll definitely dive in a little bit more detail as to what a Facebook check-in is, the value of it, how you actually go ahead and do them, and all that good stuff. But realistically, we realized and really believed in doing good was good for business. So we wanted to find a way to not only promote doing good, but at the same time, really try and drive exposure, because obviously the more people that saw your business name, the more likely they were to want to learn more about your business or figure out why all their friends were at a certain location and they were missing out, or why they weren't doing what all of their friends were doing. So quickly, realistically, we found that Facebook check-ins were the most powerful way to generate social media referrals. Obviously, like most businesses, we started by really just asking our members to bring in friends. And as you can imagine, if one or two people out of 100 brought in a friend, we were all jumping for joy, really excited about it. So we just wanted to find an easy way to scale that and really reach as large of an audience as we possibly could. And the Facebook check-in really just provided that very quickly for us for a couple different reasons. First of all, a Facebook check-in is incredibly easy to do. It only takes about 10, maybe 20 seconds, so it's really not much of an ask for you, your staff, or any of your members or clients to physically check in. It also reaches a very large audience of their friends very quickly. So basically, every time somebody checks in on Facebook, it is seen by at least 200 of their friends. We've seen upwards of 400 or 600 impressions from a single check-in. So clearly, it gets out to a really large audience. But most importantly to us was that every time somebody checked in, it displayed a lot of information about your specific business. So on the left side of the screen, you can see that it obviously shows a personal referral, meaning it has the name of your member who is physically checking in. Clearly, if I saw 5 of my friends doing something, immediately I would be much more interested in what I was missing out on or why I wasn't doing what all of my friends were doing. It also has a direct link to your Facebook page. So people see this, they can say, oh, and again, for all of you Office fans out here, we have a nice little reference to Michael Scott, but if somebody said, oh, I'm best friends with Michael Scott, oh, he's at this bar and grill, maybe I should check this place out. If they clicked anywhere on this check-in, it would actually bring them directly to your Facebook page where they can actually see a phone number or, see some more reviews or, make a reservation, really all that important information to converting them into a customer of yours. It also displays a map so people can see exactly where your business is located. A lot of people that we work with, a lot of people don't even know they exist. So this is a really easy way for them to find out, oh, wow, this location is less than 2 miles from where I live. I never knew these guys existed. Or maybe it's right next to where they work and they just never considered it. So it's a really good way to kind of give people an idea as to where you actually physically are located. And then finally, it also displays your business rating. So obviously, we want to make sure that we can display these reviews that you guys are receiving. So it's a great way to kind of just give you your potential consumers, a really quick snapshot as to where your business is, who is at your business. It also gives them the ability to actually physically put a comment in there, which is really where a lot of these organic comments come from. We want to make sure that all of these check-ins are coming from your happy, satisfied customers rather than coming from you, the business owner, because as a consumer, I trust my friends 10 times more than I trust anybody else out there. So if we can get your members to check in and therefore promote your business to their friends, it's just much more meaningful and much more impactful to really helping drive a lot of exposure and a lot of business for you. So that's a quick kind of overview as to why we fell in love with the check-in, as well as how it really ties into driving personal referrals for businesses all over the country. So we really help generate these more Facebook check-ins with 3 quick steps. The first one is basically every single month, we work with a different nonprofit. And this is really where the second passion of ours of doing good is really kind of tied in with the Sweat Angels program, is realistically, we said every single month we want to support a different cause. And what we found was that 30 days was actually a really good length in order to switch up that cause. So not that people really ever stopped falling in love with supporting a specific organization, but just at 30 days, it's a great point to kind of keep it fresh and keep it exciting so that all of your members can really be, continue to be excited about it, or, we can really tie in causes specifically to what's occurring in that time of year. So obviously every October we have some type of support for either breast cancer support, breast cancer awareness, etc. So we just really want to make sure we highlight that. In the wintertime, we always try and donate some type of winter clothing because obviously people are already thinking about how cold it is outside, etc. So those are just two examples as to kind of how we have some of these state-of-the-art, nonprofits, some of the best in the world, and how we switch them up every single month. And on your screen here, you can see kind of what some of the impact that our program has already had over this past year. So, in December, we've donated 9,696 holiday gifts to children battling cancer in the hospitals. Obviously, in the animal rescue site in March, we did 1,013 animals rescued from kill shelters. So we try and cover a wide range of very important nonprofits, and at the same time, obviously keeping it fresh and keeping it exciting. So again, this kind of goes back to that first point of we tie a nonprofit into every single check-in so that every single check-in will equal a real-world good. So each and every month, there will be a different relationship. For example, one month it might be every 10 check-ins provides a pair of shoes to Souls for Souls for children in need. Another month, it might be every 2 check-ins equals a minute of autism therapy donated to children in need. So each and every month, we kind of provide you with all of the information about not only the nonprofit, but also that relationship to really let your members and your staff know what they need to do in terms of check-ins to actually donate that good. And again, to keep touching on that point is we continue to change it each and every month to really keep it fresh and keep it exciting. And again, just wanted to shout out to some of these organizations because we really do a detailed vetting process to make sure that they're all very legitimate and very well-run organizations. So that's the first step. Step number 2 is we really try and make this as plug and play for all of you as possible. Realistically, if you spend more than about 10 to maybe 15 minutes on this program a month, you're probably spending too much time. So, we basically send you all the Facebook posts you'll need each and every month that highlight specifically what nonprofit is being supported, again, as well as what that relationship is. Like I mentioned, the every 10 check-ins equals a pair of shoes donated to Souls for Souls for children in need, or the every 2 check-ins equals a minute of autism therapy for children in need, etc. So, we provide you with all of those. At least one of those posts will be a video, again, speaking directly to what the nonprofit is, because obviously even videos are more powerful than just a Facebook static post. So we provide you guys with all of those with easily accessible buttons that just say share. So as long as you can click on that share button, it can be posted automatically to your Facebook page for you. We also write you and send to you some email templates. That way, again, you can copy and paste those and send those out to your members as well. That way, in case somebody does not see one of these posts on Facebook, they can still be at least accessed through their email to be reminded, oh, that's right, this month I'm checking in to support autism, or this month I'm supporting, fresh drinking water for families in need, etc. In addition to all of that great social media and digital media files, we also provide you with some physical items for your location. Obviously it's great to promote this on social media. That's what's really going to get in front of those new potential consumers for you. But at the end of every month, we also really want to make sure that you have people in your physical location that can be reminded as to what they're checking in for, why they're checking in, etc. Especially if you forget to mention it potentially to some consumers, they can still see these physical items to really, again, be reminded of what those check-ins are going towards. So, you get some table 10 informational cards, a digital display that we can automatically update each and every month, highlighting the specific cause being supported. So that way you guys don't have to physically take down or put up a new poster every single month. We can actually update this automatically. All you'll need to do is link up this screen to your actual Wi-Fi network, and then we kind of handle the rest. So what we found was that a moving image was much more eye-catching from a member and a staff point of view rather than a static poster, and this prevents you from needing to actually take down and put up a new poster every single month. I've had a couple actual owners reach back out to us saying, hey, this thing is great for not only reminding my members, but it also reminds me and my staff to remind my members because, members are busy, but, business owners can be just as busy, if not busier. So we really wanted to make sure that we gave you as many tools as we need to really help remind people to check in every single time they come through your facility. And then, one really quick story that this digital display kind of just popped into my head was early on, we actually had someone sign up. He really hadn't done a ton of marketing or advertising in the past. He really wanted to support some great nonprofits, so figured he'd give this thing a go. And within about 2-3 months, he actually reached out and he said, TJ, I just added a couple of people from a single check-in. And I kind of chuckled and said, well, how did you know that you actually specifically, added people to your location from a single check-in? He said, well, I had a woman walk in, she had toured the facility, she fell in love with it, she wanted to sign up, and I had that digital display sitting right on my front counter. So as she was filling out the paperwork, she actually had a quick question, said, hey, why do you guys have these pictures of puppies or children? I can't remember the exact cause that was happening that month. And he was like, oh, well, every time one of my members checks in, there's a donation made to a really deserving nonprofit. He's like, I didn't oversell it. I didn't even really remember to mention it to her. She just asked. And she said, that's really cool. I know I'm not officially a member yet, but would you mind if I went ahead and checked in? This is really neat. And he said, no, please do. And then, they kind of was the end of it. They went back talking about the paperwork and all that good stuff. About 10 minutes later, one of her girlfriends had called and said, hey, I just saw one of my friends was talking about you on Facebook. Can I come check you guys out? And the guy, of course, said, absolutely, sure thing. A couple days later, that girlfriend came in with two of her other friends, and they actually started talking to him. And, lo and behold, they found out that they had been looking for a facility for about 8 to 9 months. And the guy kind of chuckled and he said, I've actually been here for 13 months or so by now. And they kind of looked at him and said, wow, we live less than 4 miles from here and just never knew you guys existed. So it all kind of started from this digital display. So it's just a really cool way to kind of act as that kind of physical reminder in addition to all that really cool social media content that we create and send to you to really make this as much of a plug and play process for you all as possible. So step number 3 is that your members checking in, it tells hundreds of their friends about the business, and it really supports the great causes in the process. So what we found was that a lot of your members, they just love checking in order to support these causes. So we really wanted to be that behind the scenes incentive that gets people truly excited about supporting these nonprofits, and every time they want to support it, they do check in, and that's what's really driving that really cool exposure and that organic exposure for you and your business. So again, another reference to The Office. We like to have a little bit of fun here. Michael Scott, just 4 hours until the Dundies. I'm a friend first and a boss second, and probably an entertainer third, again, at that same bar and grill. So basically, this is just a really cool way to show, people checking in. It gets out to their friends see it, and they start to wonder, hey, why do I have so many friends talking about one certain business and I'm not a part of it, etc. So that's just a quick run through as to kind of why we do it, how this kind of whole process works, and how it really helps drive a lot of exposure for you and your business. So obviously, gym owners love the results. This all comes down to really showing you guys that we can show some really cool traction, drives these impressions, because obviously we want as many people to see your great business name as possible, especially associating your business with their friends, because that just immediately makes them a much warmer lead for you all. So this is Diana. She was actually one of our earliest adopters. She's been with the program for, well over a year now at this point. Her quote is, this fits in with my vision of my gym, and I saw immediately the impact it could have. She was a real believer in giving back as well, and, the whole idea of doing good is good for business. So she got on board with us really early on, promoted it. She's always one of the top performers on our Sweat Angels leaderboard, and realistically, she just wanted to find a way to not only give back, but add a lot of value to her members while at the same time trying to help drive exposure for her business. So she's been a great advocate of ours for, well over 14, 15 months now. Another great story is Todd Adamson down in Milton, Florida. He owns an Anytime Fitness Club down there. I can't think of any other marketing program that gives you as much bang for your buck. So Todd's big thing was he wanted to find a way to kind of reach a large audience of people without spending a fortune. And this was just a really easy way for him to get his members, again, really excited about supporting causes. Obviously every time somebody checks in, reaching a minimum of 200 of their friends is a really cool way to get out to a very large audience of people very quickly. So he figured out very fast that if he could reach a large audience and convert, even a small percentage of those into a paying customer of his, it was a huge win for his business. So Todd was also a very big believer in this program and has also been one of our, earlier adopters as well. And then another story is Bryce Henson. Again, one of our earliest adopters. He owns a couple Fit Body boot camps out in the California area. Since starting Sweat Angels, I've cut my marketing budget by 40%, and I'm getting way more reach. So basically, his story is he owned a couple different clubs. He went through a lot of the same stuff that we did when we were about to open up our second location and had that uh-oh moment. He just wanted to find a way to continue reaching a large audience of people and really making sure that they knew that his new clubs were opening, what they needed to do to get there, what the membership looked like in terms of their friends being a part of it, etc. And, he tried a lot of the other traditional type stuff and just saw that this was a much more cost-effective way for him to reach a large audience of people while still driving that organic growth. So Bryce is a great guy and one of our, again, probably our biggest advocate, if not, one of the biggest. So every month, Sweat Angels generates some really cool numbers here. So 600,000 plus check-ins. It's crazy to see that number and how fast we've grown, in just such a short time. We generate over 100 million friend-to-friend referrals, which is basically referring to all of those actual check-ins and how many of people's friends are seeing each and every one of those. And, we're upwards of donating $70,000 a month to these great charities. So, just looking at these numbers for myself, it's pretty cool to see how fast we've actually hit some of these milestones and how much growth we still continue to get each and every month. So these are just a quick highlight as to kind of, what the impact this program has each and every time. So why is Sweat Angels so effective? Hopefully I've given you a couple ideas, but we'll dive a little bit deeper now. Supporting causes is an effective and authentic way of encouraging action. And what we actually found was that 83% of Americans that have been polled wish that their business that they supported would actually support these causes. So, if I could choose between, Joe's gym down the street or Sally's gym up the road, and Sally's gym supported a nonprofit versus Joe's, I'd probably be more likely, according to this number, to actually join that gym, just because it allows me to feel like I'm doing something more for somebody else. So this is a really cool statistic for us, and it really allowed us to say, hey, we weren't in the minority of people thinking that doing good is good for business. So this really allowed us to say, hey, if we can do some good and really drive exposure, it's a really cool way to try and help drive, like-minded people into our gym, which was obviously a great win for us as well. So that's obviously a very powerful number and why I think this program has been so successful, because our members are really passionate and are really excited about supporting these causes and therefore willing to take the 10 seconds out of their day, which again is not much, but still to just help really support some of these incredibly deserving nonprofits. Another quick example, customers love sharing the good they do with their friends. What we like to call it is almost like a humble brag. A lot of people love telling their friends they already work out. So now if they can say, hey, I worked out and I helped donate a pair of shoes, it's kind of even better for everybody. It's a win-win. So this is just a quick example as to kind of some of the reach that some of the stuff we put out there is. This was a video that we put out that it reached over 66,000 people, which is a pretty incredible number. And even more impressively is we have over 1,000 shares, which is absolutely, almost unheard of on Facebook. So it's really cool to see how many people have been sharing these videos, seeing these videos and really getting excited about the good that was done. And then you can kind of see some of these comments here. I know some of them are a little bit smaller, but just of, whether it's a member or an owner, really continuing to encourage their clients to check in and the good that can actually happen each and every time. So this is a really cool kind of quick highlight as to, again, the impact and the reach that some of these different posts and promotions have already started reaching. Here's a quick highlight of just a couple of our great nonprofit partners. We really pride ourselves in how we actually vet out and legitimize each and every nonprofit and the nonprofits that we actually do partner with. So these are just a quick snapshot of a couple. We're always looking to add new partners to our growth, but at the same time, we got to make sure they hit certain criteria. Since we are, highlighting it and donating relatively large amounts of money to them, we want to make sure that they hit certain criteria that we need, and obviously ones that our supporters will actually follow along and believe in as well. So, we really do. We have a team that's completely, set aside to vet out and really make sure that these guys hit certain criteria that we need. So, again, this is just a quick little overview and an example of some of the, the more prominent ones that we do already currently work with. So Sweat Angels is obviously the most cost-effective way to generate friend-to-friend referrals as well. When we started developing this thing, we had a small business ourselves, so we realized that we needed to show results that, in the end of it, did also show on the bottom line. And we started running some analysis afterwards and kind of figuring out where we fell into the cost of, where this marketing cost fell, and we were actually very impressed to see where these numbers were. So here's a quick little snapshot. I don't want to, obviously bore you guys to death with all these number stuff, but so we took a look at it to see what it would cost to reach 100,000 people with some of the traditional types of marketing. Sweat Angels came in right around $400 to reach 100,000 people. Print ads, which are obviously very popular, took about $1,200. Facebook ads, which was about $1,500, and that's kind of number is based on, how we've targeted people for the Sweat Angels brand, using our, costs and whatnot. So that's kind of how we came up with that number. Television was around $2,500, and direct mail was, upwards of $5,000. So we realized really quickly that Sweat Angels was just a very cost-effective way to reach a large audience. And again, the thing that I stress the most is not only are we reaching a large audience, but it's a large audience of people who already have a relation to your business because they have a friend who is checking in, which is how they saw it, and it immediately makes them much more likely to want to learn more, or at least be interested in your business. So basically, the value to your business is easy to track. One of the cool things is we actually build out a personal dashboard for each and every business owner that we work with. So you guys can see exactly how many Facebook check-ins, how many Facebook page likes, as well as overall Facebook impressions you receive each and every month. So basically, our whole goal is to get your graphs to go up and to the right. We want to make sure we showcase people that basically the more check-ins they get, the more impressions they're going to drive, which is organically going to lead to more Facebook page likes, and therefore really help grow your business. So again, this is a dashboard that we build out for you guys. You can see on a day-to-day basis exactly where these numbers come in. We do send you an end-of-month recap as well, but we want to make sure that we provide you with a easy-to-track dashboard so you can see the impact that this program has had as well. So that's just a quick highlight as to you can kind of see the impact. And basically, one of the last slides here is that it's trusted by thousands of gym owners. It's really cool, like I mentioned earlier, how neat it was to see some of those other numbers. We just crossed our 3,000th location a couple of weeks back, so we continue to see some incredible growth and some incredible partners that we're working with all over the country, whether it's a personal training gym that hasn't opened yet, up to the big box gyms, the group fitness style, really anybody who has a Facebook page that wants to try and drive personal referrals to it, while at the same time doing some really incredible things for these nonprofits, is a great partner to work with. So these are kind of just, a quick run through as to our program, how it works, why members have fallen in love with it, why business owners have seen the value in it, and, why it's kind of taken off as quickly as it has. So it's been a great ride, and hopefully we continue to, see more and more people jump on board and really help support some of these nonprofits while driving some great traffic their way. So finally, if it's something you guys are interested in doing, please feel free to visit causley.com/sweatangels/pricing. It'll actually have a build out as to what our pricing tiers look like depending on the size of your gym and the size of your gym membership. And one of the really cool things, and probably the thing that we're most excited about for these, is that you actually can use the promo code 10OFF. That's TENOFF within the next 24 hours, and you can actually save $10 off of your launch kit, which is all of those physical items that really help remind you, your staff, and your members in your physical location as well. So that's just a quick little thank you for listening. If it's something you guys are excited about, we'd love to give you guys that $10 off and really help you guys get, rocking and rolling. So again, thanks for your time, for listening to this. Hopefully this helped clarify a little bit of the questions that you may have had about our program, giving you a quick run through as to kind of why we started this whole idea of Sweat Angels and how it's helped businesses all over the country grow while doing some really great stuff for these nonprofits. So my contact information is on this page as well. So if you do need it, that 508-479-5574 number, that is my cell phone. So you can absolutely call me or text me. That is my personal line. So you're not going to get a robot or anything along those lines. We really believe in building this thing one relationship at a time. So if you do have any questions or you need any more information, please feel free to reach out to me directly, and I will be more than happy to help. But other than that, again, thanks for your time. I really appreciate it, and I definitely look forward to talking with you soon and working with you even sooner. So have a great rest of your day, and thanks a bunch.